Happy July 1st. I'm Jennifer Farmer, and I'm so happy that you could all join me tonight. I'm so excited. It's been a few months since I have done this call, and I love when people are excited about the spirit world. And that's a subject very close to my heart. So for our call tonight, what we're going to do is I am going to share some things about the spirit world, share some things that have come to me that I feel like I'm supposed to share with you guys, topics all about the spirit world. In doing that, when I have the opportunity, I will be taking questions and calls from you guys. And I'll open up the phone queue. And what that looks like is you'll just press *6 on your phone when you hear that the Q&A session has been started, okay? And what I'll do is I'll just go down and I'll take your call. I'll just introduce myself and make sure that you and I can hear each other. And then I'll ask you if you've got a question about you, or if you want to connect to someone in the spirit world, or if you have a question just about the spirit world in general. If I can answer it, I'll do my very best. I always pray to them and say, please let me do a good job. So as we get started tonight, I hope you guys are all comfortable where you can hear well and that you can have your little pen and paper ready if you have any questions as I'm talking that we can share with each other. And just as other people are still getting on the line tonight, I want to follow up with a couple of emails I've sent out. So first of all, if you're calling from Texas, I want to give you a heads up. I'm going to be in Texas in September. I'm going to do a gallery of messages, an evening of messages from the spirit world. Yay! So it's been probably a year or more since I've been able to do that. If you're in the Florida area in St. Pete, guess what? I'm going to be doing messages from the spirit world at the at First Unity Church of St. Pete. All you got to do is call Wings Bookstore, and they will reserve your seats. If you do it before July 4th, you could, if there's still seats left, you get priority seating. So if you're meditating, I've got a few seats left open in my meditation, my group meditation. And if you are looking to develop with the spirit world, you're going to want to learn how to meditate. It is so important for you as someone who wants to connect to the spirit world, either because you just want to, you have a curiosity or an interest. It's important because your energy, your understanding of your mind, your emotion, yourself can help the spirit world reach out to you, right? And so we want to kind of do our part in connecting with the spirit world. And a lot of us have a lot of different reasons to connect. Some of us are just curious. We want to see who's there. We want to see what's going on in the spirit world. Some of us have lost loved ones, and we just want to feel them. One of the most things I'm looking forward to is when I get to see my dad again in the spirit world. I know we always get to be reunited with our spirit, with our families and our spirit families. And man, I know I see him, pretty infrequently, not as much as I'd like. But for those of you that have lost loved ones, anytime you get a glimpse of the spirit world in your daily life, you're like, hey, I saw you. And for me, it's been a while since I had that connection, and this is kind of how a typical contact with the spirit world will go. I'm running down the beach. I'm huffing and puffing. I'm really focused. I'm trying to stay on my sand, and all of a sudden, I feel my dad's presence standing with me. It was very subtle. It was very, but it was there because it was just me and the sand and the water. And when I felt that energy of my dad, I was like, well, it's about time. I'm always giving him a hard time because he's a little late on the draw sometimes, according to my world. But in that moment, it's one of those heartfelt things where you really know there's a presence of the other world with you. So they're really good when we reach out to them, and part of our role in wanting to learn about the spirit world, wanting to connect and communicate with the spirit world for personal and or other reasons is that you and I understand that we have to be a good partner for the spirit world. We've got to be open. We can't demand certain things. We have to be aware of our own energy, our own senses, so that when they do move closer to us, they can reach out to us. Now, I'm one of those people that ask the spirit world, I don't want to dream about y'all at night. I see y'all all the time anyway. So it's a real important piece when I actually do get a spirit contact from the spirit world. I get pretty excited about it because I know that there's an important message in that. But some of you, the only way that you feel that connection to the spirit and your loved ones is through dreaming. And, man, that's awesome. They always come through with a light and an energy with them where you're like, man, you know it. Like, you know they were there, and you almost, like, don't want to wake up. Of course, if you've had a bad argument with one or two of them, you might want to, you might have a different feeling about that. But be aware that the spirit world, when they reach out to us, they always come in a state of love. Their whole role with us as humans and spiritual beings in human form is to remind us of the power of eternal life. They want us remember that this is a wonderful experience in the physical, but there's also more will be revealed. So as you are thinking about connecting to the spirit world, how good are you at recognizing your own energy, your own spirit, your own presence? If you're grieving, it may be really hard. So the spirit world's got to do some really great things to try to reach out to you. One of the most common ways that they do, they love to play the music. It's like they got your own little DJ, and when you are in your car and maybe you've had a hard night because you've been crying all night and you missed your loved one, and then all of a sudden there's y'all's favorite song that is not even on the radio playlist, right? That is not a coincidence. Raise your hands up and say hello to my loved one when that happens, because that's their way of saying, I'm with you. I'm only a thought away. And they do. They can communicate with us through many different ways. A lot of common ways, again, is the music, the dreams. Sometimes we hear, one of my favorite stories is one of my colleagues, she would say when her husband died, she wasn't really attuned to the spirit world so much, but she noticed that every time that she was going through a hard time in her life, there was this white, utility van that would come out, and it had her husband's name on it, right? So after she realized that for a few years, she realized that was his way of saying hello. And they really want us to be happy. They want us to be at ease, that they're okay, and that we'll see each other again. So I am anxious to share more stories about our responsibility to open up the phone lines, to hear your questions, and if I could possibly connect to a loved one, and or you have questions about your own development, let's get to it. So if you're ready, let's hit *6. I'm going to open up the queue line, and we'll get going. I'll just need... So as we are kind of all, meditating on our loved ones tonight, be patient with me. My computer is kind of funky. If you would like to connect with a loved one or you have a question, let's have a go at it and see what we can do. All right, then? All right. Hi, this is Jennifer, and I believe your number ends in 81. May I ask who I'm talking to?
Hi, this is Rana.
Hey, Rana, how are you tonight?
I am great. How are you?
I'm awesome. What would you like to do tonight?
I would love to see if there were any messages for me.
So there's a couple of people that stepped forward. First, I have a lady that she explains to me, she says, you're the best daughter in the whole world. She explains that she did not get to say goodbye, and she shows me a big family. And would this be your mom or your mother-in-law?
My mother probably.
Yep. And you would know that she said she too had a tendency to be late in her life. Remember I was talking about my dad being a little late? She said, I'm not missing this one either. And she acknowledges a little girl. And would you have a little girl, Ronna?
I don't, but my daughter just had a little girl.
Oh, fantastic. Well, she's acknowledging a little girl in the family, and she's up saying hello. And she mentions a man that is with her who is smoking a cigarette, and he's in the spirit world. He's kind of oh, gosh, he reminds me of the Walter Matthau guy, just kind of grumpy but funny at the same time. And would you know who that would be? Would that be your father?
No, it's not my father.
Okay.
I don't know who that is.
Well, he is coming with your mom, and there's a connection to like a cousin in the family, and this man would have passed a little older, maybe in his, well, I'm going to have to change my age now. He would have passed in his 50s, and he acknowledges the name June. Would you know a June in your family or in your mom or dad's family?
Well, interestingly enough, the middle name of my daughter's new baby is June.
Oh, fantastic. You know what? This man may be connected to that extended family because he's acknowledging the name June. So think of it like he's an older fella, would have been funny, but kind of grumpy at the same. I know it sounds kind of, they could be both, but you know how sometimes that can be.
Yeah.
But obviously, there's family there talking about the girl and you, and most of all, your dad. Now he is also in spirit.
No, he's still here.
Oh gosh, talking about a dad. Give me just a moment. And would you know a James by any chance?
James.
In the living or spirit, James. If not, I may have another loved one coming in because I see a man that would have passed in an accident that says that he may be connected to one of our other callers. So if you can't place it, just know your mom is here acknowledging the message about I guess that'd be your granddaughter, and then with the middle name June, and then the man that belongs to the family, but obviously your mom wants you to know your dad is going to be okay. That's why she said that.
Okay.
All right. And she says long-term health care is needed, and know that you're doing a good job.
Oh, interesting.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Would that make sense? Yep. Would that make sense right now?
Yep. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Have a great day, and thank you for joining.
And thank you for taking my call.
Awesome. So as y'all can see, it's kind of like they come in and they talk to me, and I feel what happens is like all of your loved ones come in at the same time. And so as I'm working with you, I've asked them to help me make sure, try to match up my caller with the person I'm talking to. But sometimes I see them kind of all blending together. So just be a little patient with me as I'm getting going. So let's go to our next caller. Have a look here. All right. So your number ends in 70, and my computer screen just did something funky. So let me try it again. All right. So your phone number ends in 70, and I don't know what area, 239. May I ask who this is? Can you hear me? Hi, this is Jennifer. Okay, number ends in 70. Okay, I'll come back to you. All right, if I can come back, I will, and we'll get you going. All right, so apologize that sometimes the computer thing gets kind of all boggled up, but here we go. All right, so this number starts with 865. So your area code is 865. Oh, did you think I said the price is? Hi, this is Jennifer. Is this my area code 865? All right, let's do this. I'm going to clear my queue real quick, guys, and I'm going to find the number that ends that I started with. I'm not sure what's going on with my queue line, but I'm going to try this one more time. Hi, this is 865 area
Hello?
code. Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Did you think you were the price
Thank
is
you.
right. You thought I've ran you up on the stage. The price is right. You're it.
Thank
So
you.
how are you?
I'm Monica. Thank you for taking my call.
Hey, Monica.
And I would like to ask you if you could maybe help me answer this question. I'm trying to develop my spiritual talents a little more, and I'd like to work with them professionally. Can I get any kind of advice from the spiritual world how to approach this?
So 2 things. Your guides are saying you're starting from scratch, meaning that you are open to learn different philosophies. Now, they are sharing with me that you've got a little bit of healing gifts that are going to unfold, and that learning about energy, just energy in general, is going to be a good tool in your spiritual toolkit. That also hearing that you do communicate with the spirit world. And Monica, are you in the medical field now?
No, not
yet.
Not now.
Oh, just so you know, I'm seeing as they are showing things to me, like you working in like with doctors and such. All right.
All right. Interesting.
So one thing I wanted to share with you, if you are entering into a relationship with your spirit friends for the purpose of love and healing, that's the best way to go, okay? One thing you want to learn is, I'm going to give you a couple of suggestions, all right?
Okay.
There's a book that just your basic, you have to understand your psychic abilities first, like where your psychic senses are. Because once you know how you're driven as a sensitive, then you can rely on those easier as you are learning your spiritual, like how to communicate those gifts, how to use those gifts, and in what modalities, okay? There's a book by John Holland. He wrote Psychic Navigator. I always recommend that for people who are just like at the beginning piece. The second suggestion is when you are looking at developing, is find a group that you enjoy, like that has some leadership, that you enjoy watching other people work, so you can figure out what feels right to you by watching them work and what you would do differently and or who you could learn from. Okay. Mediumship, and I do see evidential mediumship abilities, meaning like having the ability to communicate the way I just did with this last lady, right?
Yes, I've done that before.
Yeah. There I would say there is a book called Where the Two Worlds Meet. And the reason I talk about books is I had to do a lot of my own learning because I didn't have a lot of facilities or people around me.
That's
to help
exactly
me.
where I'm at. Yeah, I don't have many resources and groups.
And so if you want, I did a mediumship class. If you would like to get a copy of that at some point, just send me an email after the call, and it will just give you sort of a breakdown, like 1, 2, 3 of mediumship, and it could kind of open that doorway. But the second book is Where the Two Worlds Meet by Janet No Havoc. Okay?
Okay. So may I ask one more question? So mediumship, that's a possibility for me that maybe I could I could do this in the future. I would love that.
I see. Think of it like this: the way your scale, like what I'm being shown, is you've got what I mean by healing potential. There is where you are like when you walk into a room, like you could bring peace and energy into a room, like you've got healing potential that just sets people at ease, like in general. So learning how to really control your energy is going to really be part of your unfoldment in your process to be in the mediumship side.
Okay, and working with energy, that's not meaning like Reiki, right? It's just like maybe my demeanor and maybe the way I speak.
It's good to understand both. It's good to have a basic understanding of both. And then you pick the area that you feel drawn to the most. And the spirit world will help you. All right, then? Okay. So don't forget to send me an email, all right?
Okay, thank you. Can I ask one more little thing?
I have to go, Monica. We got like a lot of people on the calls. Thank you so much.
Sorry.
I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
No. Have a good evening. Okay.
Thanks.
I'm going to go back here to this little number here. Hi. Now, I tried to get you earlier, and I couldn't get my little phone to work. So 70, it looks like I'm in area code 203. Can you hear me now? Oh,
yes,
wonderful.
Yes, hi.
Hey,
what's
your
Joyce.
name?
Hi.
Is it Joyce?
Yes, it is.
Oh, excellent. I'm so glad. It must have been a user error for me. So
no problem.
How can I help you tonight?
Well, I've lost a couple of very close people recently, about 8 weeks apart, and I was wondering if they have any messages for me.
All right. So let me just have a look here. Give me just a moment. Well, I want you to know I've got a young girl presenting herself to me, all right?
Okay.
And she looks like she's being cared for by a lady in the spirit that would have been older when she passed. I'm talking 70s when she passed. This lady would have dressed herself very nicely in this. And would you have a Mary in your family, Joyce?
Yes, I did have an aunt, Mary.
Yes. Just so you know, your Aunt Mary is here, right?
Oh, wow. That's not who I expected.
No, that's all right. And she's got a young girl that is with her that would have passed. So there may have been a relative in some way. If you know, do you know of a family member that lost a young child? If you don't know, it's okay.
No, I don't.
And would you know the name Carol?
Carol? No, I don't.
All right, let that sit. Now, who would you like me to try to work with? And I know you said you had two people. Your Aunt Joyce is here, but I'd like to try to connect with one of the people that you said you recently lost.
Yes, last year my husband passed away, and then 8 weeks later my mother died.
All right, then. So let me just have a look here.
Okay.
Because as I was tuning in to your aunt, I had another lady with her and I had a man, but I didn't see the connection yet. So let me just work with him. Now, your father, is he the one with the blue eyes?
My father and my husband, yes.
Oh, okay. I just want you to know your blue-eyed family is here. I have a man looking at me with these beautiful blue eyes.
They both have beautiful eyes.
When I see him, he does look like he would have had a heart condition before he passed. This man shows me he grabs his chest.
That would be my dad.
Yes, your dad is here.
Oh, my goodness.
He says that it's been a long time, sister.
Yes.
That's the way he says it. He said it was Dad's day. I needed to come in and give you, and he throws up and he shows me peace. I want to bring you peace.
Oh, okay.
He said your husband greeted me with shaking his hands. He says, "What a good man you found to replace me." That's what your dad says.
Oh, okay.
And when your husband is with your dad, would he also be the one that was starting to recede his hair a little bit?
My husband was receding his hair. Yes, not my dad, but my husband.
Yeah. No, your husband's stepping in. He is just coming in, and I have to show you, he actually showed me himself physically, right? He was showing me the blue eyes and the receding hairline a little bit. And this man is a high five man, meaning it's good to see you. He said you were, it's like you were with him till the end.
I was.
With him till the end. And he said, wow.
He was sick a very long time.
Yeah. He said, you made me feel like a king. And he wants you to know that you deserved better than being a maiden for me. he said, I wanted you to be my queen.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a man that he acknowledges that he wasn't able to speak the way he could in his last days.
Right.
But he acknowledges that there was another young girl that came to see him. Do y'all have a daughter?
No, it might have been the aides who were taking care of him. Maybe?
Oh, I see. He showed me a young girl, maybe in her early 30s, just showing me care, like really, cared for him. And he says, I love you. He says, our anniversary's coming up. Happy anniversary.
Oh, it's September. It's not that close, but it's
for him. He said it's our anniversary. He says next time we'll do it sweeter in our next life.
Okay.
Good man. One thing he did show you is he brought me some flowers for you.
Okay.
And he says, thank you for the flowers. So you must have gone and done a visit or brought him flowers.
Maybe for his memorial service, there were a lot of different flowers, and everybody picked out something special.
Yes, he shows me irises, just so you know, and he says he loves you very much. Your mom is obviously there, with her arms open wide, has great love for you. She shows me that she did not get to speak the way she wanted to before she passed, different than your husband. She said, but she had a peaceful passing, and she wants you to know that.
I know she did, yeah.
She really did. And you don't have a Carol in your life, in the physical or in the spirit? Your mom mentioned that.
A Carol? I only have I have a cousin. She passed away a long time ago, a Carol.
Named Carol. And it would she have passed as a young girl?
No, not so young. No, probably 50s, 60s.
Okay.
No.
Just remember, your aunt showed me a girl about 11 or 12 that was with her. So be curious if there was a family, if there was a passing at some point. But obviously, Mom's here. Husband with his beautiful blue eyes. Dad coming in just to give you. It's been a long time since you got to see him, and thank you so much for letting me get back to you. I just had to get it all
no
together.
Problem.
And
I had a feeling they were all waiting.
Oh well, yes. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So whenever we have the spirit world, as if you are looking to develop into your mediumship, which Monica asked, it's such a privilege to get to open up and develop mediumship abilities. The basic understanding of mediumship is just having the ability to communicate with the spirit world. And there's two types of mediumship. There is mental mediumship where the communication is somewhat telepathic. It comes through my mind like a thought. Now, in that thought, those words or impressions are brought to me through my senses. Now, I'm clairvoyant, meaning that when the spirit world works with me, I see images. Now, some people feel, some people hear, some people know. And so if you can heighten your psychic senses and abilities, you will be setting yourself up for success in trying to build a rapport with the spirit world. Physical mediumship is very different. That is where the spirit world comes through the physical medium, and there is a lot of care taken for a physical medium. It takes a while to develop that connection for the spirit world to work with us physically, meaning that in some worlds they used to call that trance mediumship, but physical mediumship, an example would be when I went to school in the UK, I went to a demonstration of a physical medium that he would do red light mediumship, which basically mean when he was working as a medium, we turned the lights down. There was a little bit of a red light in the room. But when he would talk or when he would sit for the mediums or sit for the group, he would do transfiguration, which means the image of his face would shift very much like the person he was communicating with. Now, obviously, again, they come in love, never to bring harm, and they can't overtake us, right? We can let our minds go crazy with it, but we have to understand that there is a common agreement that no harm shall come to us. And that's the funky thing about the TV shows and such, is a lot of people like to be scared. I don't know why, but whenever there's sensationalism around the scary part of the spirit world and the afterlife, it kind of gets on my heart a little bit, because it makes people that are grieving kind of afraid of what goes bump in the night. And as people that have lost loved ones, we love to hear what goes bump in the night. And so, because it's our time when we're quiet, and the spirit world can bring their presence closer to us, and things may happen in that instance. I always say, whenever I bump into him in the middle of the night, I'm going to the bathroom. That's one of the reasons I asked him not to come at night, because I would be going to the bathroom, the lights off, of course, and I'm startled because I feel like I'm bumping into, a spirit world. I'll say, y'all can't do that. Y'all freak me out when that happens. So I ask them to please come in the daytime, so I don't feel like I'm going nuts. And out of respect, they're very good at that, unless there's something real important that they've got to know. So I'm going to go ahead and take my next call. Looks like, here we go. All right. I believe you end in 212. Your phone number ends in 212. What's your name? Can you hear me okay? Let's see. Area code 718.
Oh, yes. Anna Maria?
Hey, Maria, how are you?
Oh, hi, how are you? Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you for tuning in.
Oh, it's wonderful to hear from you. I have a question. I have been feeling very down this weekend, and I have felt a presence, but have lost a very loved one. And me and my mother feeling, it's an awkward feeling. I'm not sure, does he want to say anything? There's any messages for me from
this man that shows himself to you, he looks like he may have been in his late 60s, early 70s when he passed. What if, and Maria, can you hear me? I've just got a little fading out on the phone. He shows me problems like with respiratory illness before he passed.
That's why probably he passed off because of his breathing stopped. But his age was much younger than that.
Oh, there's an older man appearing though that would have had like two brothers together.
No, it was just one person.
Okay. I'm letting you know there's a man that's coming for you. Okay? Not just this man that you are talking about, Miss Maria, but there's another connection where two brothers are coming together and would be connected to your mom's side of the family.
Okay, that could be, yes.
Okay? And there's a sense of what I'm hearing is from one of the men that would have passed younger with the respiratory issue, okay?
Yes, that's
I hear,
true.
Keep your faith. And I get a cross, right? And you may even have a cross in the house, right?
Yes.
And I hear, keep the faith. And what I'm hearing is part of the probably some of the issues around this man is, and how is this man connected to you?
Is my only child.
Okay.
My son.
That's your son.
Yeah,
because had he made 27 yet?
No, he was 17.
Okay. There's a 27. I'm not sure why that date's important, but he's showing it to me. So give me just 1 second. There's an S name, Maria, that he shows me.
Yeah, he's Steve. He was named Steve.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure because we had the other older gentleman there too. All right. So your Steve is your son.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Oh, good. I just wanted to make sure because I got a little confused because they're both coming together. Like they're not, he's not by himself, all right?
That's good.
And so what your son is explaining to me is that he didn't get to say goodbye to your mom.
Yes, none of us.
And he said that she is upset because she did not get to say goodbye and that she feels like something was her fault, you know, between them. And he said she prayed for me every day.
Yes, we all did.
And there's no more, it's like it's in God's hands now. And he says, I'm okay. He did mention a little dog, by the way, Steve did.
A little dog?
Yeah, he's got a little dog with him in the spirit world.
Great. Yeah, he always wanted one. So
yeah, I'm just telling you, he took a spirit dog because he's got one in his hand. So know that he's standing there. He's with me. Beautiful. Now remember, he's been healed, so he's not sick anymore. Okay?
Good. Yeah.
And he comes through bouncing a basketball, doing his thing. Like he's got that kind of energy. He says, Mom, I'm just bouncing basketballs, making hoops.
That's great. Oh, okay.
And so he's got his life back. Now, he did mention a sister. So is there do you have a niece or someone that he thought was like a sister to him?
Yeah, well, my sister was like also like a...
Okay. He just says hello to the sister. He didn't give me the context.
Yes, it was very
all right.
Yes, that's correct.
So please make sure she knows that he's blowing her a kiss from the spirit world.
Thank you so much, Jennifer.
All right, thank you. Now your energy that you're talking about, feeling low, that's something that with grief and the loss of a child, sometimes are more intense than others because, like, the summertime is meant to be a happy time, right?
Yes.
You know, and so you'll find sometimes when some seasons people are excited about, it's different for you. Because you have to learn how to find joy in new ways with your son in spirit. So keep talking to him. He does love his tennis. He's got tennis shoes. He loves these tennis shoes.
Oh, wonderful. Yes, he has a lot of shoes.
He's got these. He's putting his shoes on. He says, Mom, I'm ready to go. And I love you, he says. Tell his Graham he said hello, all right?
Yes, thank you so much, Jennifer.
So much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay.
All right, so it took me a minute, but I got to get his name, and he gave me the S name. So thank you, Steve, for your great energy and your great spirit. All right, so I want to go touch really quickly. So we're talking a little bit about our responsibility as people, even if we're grieving and we've lost a loved one, is just to keep our heart open, right? And when we've lost someone that we haven't got to say goodbye to, or we don't have the closure, one of the best things you can do is visualize your loved one in front of you and having that conversation of wanting to express those things that you did or didn't say. And what that does is it begins, the power of love through a spiritual way begins to heal you and make it okay for you to understand that the spirit world wants you to be at peace with the passing. Now, for me, it took a long time. I'm talking years before I was able to get to that place where, when I was grieving about I had my father passed, and it was we didn't have closure. So it takes time, but remember, one of the best things, envision them in front of you. Get quiet. Ask your own light, your own spirit to help you heal the suffering that passing has left upon you, so that you can be open to feel the spirit world more often and more readily, and you're ready to see the signs that the spirit world leaves behind. Now, one of the I was talking about earlier about the importance of learning how to sort of open up to receive. Now, you have to get outside of that logical side of yourself to get into your creative side, for the spiritual awarenesses to open up. And one of the best techniques that you can do is guided meditations. Now, I did offer the guided meditation. Meet Your Spirit Guides is a great way to begin that practice, okay? And it gives you the basic ways to heighten your psychic senses. Then it walks you through learning how to receive and open up to spirit world communications. And I just give you a heads up on that. I do have them available, and you can get them by download. And if you do type in the word meditate on that, you can get a 20% discount and get this free shipping if you do old school CD. So that is the Meet Your Spirit Guide CD. So if you decide to get that, and or if you're in the process of grieving a loved one of the my new meditations, Discovering God and Divine Love, is a very powerful way to move through grief with less suffering. All right, so let me go on to my next call here. Let's have a look. All right, I believe, let me see. Give me just a moment here. I thought I had it. Okay, ends in 1097. This looks like St. Pete area.
Hi.
Hey, who's this?
This is Callie.
Hey, is it Callie or Kelly?
Callie.
Hey, Callie, is that with a C or a K?
A C.
Oh, wonderful. That's the way I wrote it. How can I help you tonight? Oh, thank you for calling in, by the way.
Thank you for answering. I'm wondering if I have any messages.
Okay, and who would you like to connect with?
My dad.
All right, let me just have a look and see if he'll work with me, okay?
Okay.
Oh, I have to tell you, first thing your dad does is brings me a soda, right? He says, we're going to sit down and have a soda together. And is that something y'all enjoyed together?
I don't know, but I love Coke.
Well, let me
I'm
tell
actually
you,
drinking one.
Well, he just brought me a soda to have with you, you know? And when I see your father, he, first of all, he comes through with a heavy heart. Not that he has a heavy heart, but he feels that you have a heavy heart because of Father's Day.
Yeah.
And he said, you were very upset on Father's Day. He shows me that you did not get kind of the messages that you were hoping for on Father's Day. He said, but I'm here now, and he's got music playing in the background. Your daddy does, okay? And he talks to me and says that, he says, we always had fun together, Callie. Your daddy says that? And is there a J name between your dad, like a family? Your dad just gave me a J name?
His brother's name is Jim.
Oh, excellent. Well, he mentioned the J name, but your dad comes through and he wraps his arms around you. He shows me a birthday that just passed. This would be the last couple of weeks. He says, happy birthday. Do you know who
My
that
birthday,
might be?
Mine was the 10th and his is the 12th of June, so they were always together.
Oh, because he says, happy birthday. He says, it just passed. And he said, it was different this year for us. He said, but I was right there with you. And he talks about this old record player. You remember an old record player in the house?
No. He loves music, though. The Beatles is his favorite.
Yeah. Well, he keeps putting on this old school record player in front of me, and that's some of his favorite pastimes then, because he definitely is showing me that. Now, you do know he was sick before he passed, correct?
Yeah, he was sick for a long time.
Yeah, because he shows me, you know, we knew I was going to pass, and he said, you didn't leave his side. He said, you were right there. He even shows me, like, you holding his hand and being with him.
Yeah, my sister, my brother, and my mom and I all were there, never left.
And you know what's so good about him is he said, I wanted it to be quicker, but it gave us time to really see how much we all loved each other.
Mhm.
You know, that was important to him. He talks about you getting a new car. Do you have one on that? like there's a new little, it looks a little bit like the size of a Volkswagen. You remember having a Volkswagen, or is that he's bringing this Volkswagen in?
I have a Hyundai Coupe, and I think it's new since he's passed, but not new.
Is it blue?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. Well, for some reason he gave me, he says, that's your little bug. Like, he calls that your little bug, like your car. And obviously he still has great love for your mom, you know, and that your brother is missing him terribly as well. And you tell him his dad gave him a thumbs up. He's the number one son. And that I love you, he says. He said, you'll always be with me, even in the spirit world. So keep your conversation up. And obviously when you hear those old school records and you're having your soda, know that that's your dad's way of really reaching out to you. Do you remember a Paul that your family may have known? A Paul? In the living or spirit? Dad just showed me a Paul or a Paula, that name.
There was a Paula that took care of him with hospice.
Oh, good. He's just saying thank you.
Oh, Paul. There was a man named Paul that was always there taking care of him, too. He was really good to him.
Well, he said thank you. He said Paul and Paula, so I just needed to make sure I didn't hear it wrong. So I'm glad that you can place both. And he is mentioning you. It's time to go to Disney to get your fun on.
Yeah, I've been talking about taking my son to Disney.
All right. He wants you to get your fun on, and he says go to Disney. So he's here. He's with you. He's with his grandson. Sons with an S. He shows me more than one grandson, by the way. And
I just have one, but I think I might be expecting.
Oh, well, your daddy's showing me grandsons with an S. So just know that he is seeing things before they happen. I really appreciate you calling in, Callie. Have I met you here locally?
You just had a reading with my mom a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, that's right. I remember, because your name, you look familiar with the C, you know, the way you're spelling it.
Yeah.
Yes, your mother was wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing my work with her. And,
yeah, you completely changed her attitude now.
Oh, well, y'all went through a big loss, you know, and he was your everything, and that's what he says, and he knows that. And for him, it's just the importance for you to remember that you're always his little girls. Always his little girls. So he had great love for your sister as well. Oh, one thing, he's talking about the watch. He's talking about a watch, that a man's watch. He would like to be passed down. Did your mom give you a watch, or do you know about your dad? This has got a metal band on it.
Yeah, you said that to my mom too, but we can't figure out which watch. I know he used to wear one a lot, but I was looking through his stuff, and I don't know what watch it could be.
It looks digital. It's like, you remember how they used to make, they've gone back and forth with that, but I see like an old work watch that he would wear to work. When he could, he said, I always like to be on time. But
he did, and I'm just like that.
Yeah, it's like he wanted to pass down the watch to his grandson. So if you do find it, know that was just his way of sharing his life with his loved ones that are still on this side. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you so much, Callie.
Right.
I appreciate
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah. All right, then. So when we are talking about our loved ones, another thing that can be a lot of fun when we want to honor our loved ones is, when we look through some of their things or their photographs, to really just take a moment to see what you have of theirs. And sometimes you can put that on or wear it for, in the privacy of your own space, and keep their energy with you. And it gives you great comfort. And I always say, keep it as long. I wish I would have had one of my dad's shirts, but I don't. And and it's one of the things that I didn't get to keep, but there's a few pictures that I have, and there are times I'm drawn more to those pictures than others, and that usually is an indication that either I'm needing that connection from the spirit world or they are reaching out to me. All right, so let's go. Let me take another call here. Just give me 1 second. Just have a little drink of water. Here we go. Let's look. I like this. Let's see. You've got a 1 and a 2 and a 2 on your number here.
It's a Skype number.
Oh, you called in with Skype. That's awesome. I didn't even know you could do that. Good for you.
You can. It's a small minimal fee, like $8 for every 3 months, and you can use it on any phone.
That's fantastic. Well, first of all, you got my lucky number, my angel number in your digits there.
Oh, cool.
What's your name?
My name is Dawn.
Hey, Dawn, how can I help you tonight?
Well, first, I wanted to say I've got your Meet Your Spirit Guide meditation and your Essential meditations, and they are awesome. They have helped me so much in my spiritual development, and I took your meditation class in Massachusetts a couple of years ago. So I just think that everything that you've helped me so much in my development. And I was just wondering, since I give readings to so many people, is there anybody out there for me that might have a message?
Oh, and who would you like me to try to talk to?
My sister.
Oh, okay. Well, let me just sit here for just a moment, and let me see if she'll work with me. Well, first of all, she is, now the way she presents herself to me is she's very feminine, Dawn. That's how she shows me herself, and she grabs your hand, right? She's got long fingers. I don't know if you remember. She's got really pretty hands, right? And she grabs your hand. She said, let's go play Ring Around the Rosie. Like, she remembers these memories with you, and she said, you need to hear me when more often say, be a kid again. She said, you are such a treat, and your sister is giving me candy, okay? Like, you know, and if you've been craving candy lately, just know she knows about you craving candy. She mentions Halloween, your sister does.
Yes.
And there's an important timing around that for her, but obviously she feels like she's best friends with you. Now, she does show me she was sick before she passed on.
Yes.
Do you know if it actually moved into, like, her whole body, like her lungs and such, her illness?
Yes, the lungs. She had pneumonia, was put into a induced coma, and never came out of it.
Oh, because she said, the reason I asked that is because she shows me this real pressure on her lungs, and she couldn't get up.
Yes.
And she said, we thought I was going to get better. And she said it was more like see you later, not goodbye. Like that was a feeling for her.
Yes.
And she did say she was greeted by a woman in the spirit world your your nanny granny, there's a woman that greeted your sister in the spirit world.
Nana.
I kept going, nanny. I knew I didn't get it all right, but obviously when your sister's here, she really shows me connecting to gardens.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And if obviously that's a place where, since her heart is there and your heart is there, you might want to spend a little bit more time in that.
Yeah, she was a big gardener. She loves her gardens.
Yeah, because her heart is showing me this whole connection to this. And obviously, she's talking about your dad not doing well.
Right.
Yeah, and that he's still got, so funny, he's still got more time left on that ticker. He's talking about his ticker on his heart, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And she says, don't let him talk him into dying. Don't let himself talk him into dying. Like, there's this thing she's just saying to keep him looking at the sunny side up. She did throw me some eggs on the table. I'm not sure if she was an egg fan, but she just gave me eggs. We're having eggs for breakfast.
He's very depressed because he's got rheumatoid arthritis and he's in constant pain. So I think that's...
Oh, no. Well, know this, his heart, your sister says his heart's looking good.
Good.
And for some reason she brought me eggs, so she may be even talking about his diet. right? But
yeah.
maybe memory about, eggs and diet, for you guys. And I did want to mention, I'm going to be up in Maine later this year. I haven't got it on my calendar yet, but I am going to be coming back to Leaping Lizards. So I'll be looking forward to that. It's been a year or so. But I really appreciate you calling in, and I'm so glad you like the meditations and you're doing your healing work for other people. Oh, one other thing. Sister mentions the 12th. Is there a date that you know that's important to her or for you, the 12th? She didn't give me a month, but she's talking about like 12 step, 12 like a 12 recovery, like somebody getting recovered.
I can't think of anything other than her soulmate, her twin soul. His birthday's in December.
Okay, around 12. Well, remember what I got around that was also a period of recovery. She's acknowledging around that. She's actually showing me August 12th. I'm just going to put that. I just want you to circle that date.
Sure.
Okay.
I've gotten August before.
And the feeling I got is recovery.
Okay.
Like the steps to recovery, there's going to be that. So I really appreciate her coming through, grabbing your hand. Such a pretty lady, feminine.
Yeah.
Big smile on her face, always made other people feel good. She loved to read. I don't know if you remember that about her.
Yeah.
And her garden. So her heart is with you, but most of all, that her love is still there, and she really wants you to remember to have fun and be a kid again.
Thank you very much.
You're so welcome. Thank you for calling in. All right, so I just want to kind of recap for those of us here on our call tonight. I really enjoy doing this call, and I will set another one up for probably September timeframe, but I'll keep you guys apprised on my email list. If you have questions about readings and or events, please send me an email. I'll be glad to give you some information. And I want to thank you guys for your wonderful support tonight. This call has been recorded, so I will send out the replay. And if your heart is still grieving your loved one tonight and I didn't get to everyone, just remember that they are with you, that all you have to do is remember that your love reaches out to them, their love reaches back to you. I want to thank you again for a great evening, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. And goodbye.